Ciao, benvenuti. Welcome to another episode of Richard Harris's Herbal Tutorials, the podcast that are all about common sense. Videos that are designed to enlighten you about the proper and structured herbal usage. In these videos, you learn how, why, when, and when not to use herbs. No hype, no exaggeration, no solicitation. Information is freely given. I'm Richard Harris, and the contents of this video is somewhat different from the previous ones. I will not be discussing any herb in this video, but the principles that guides their selection and usage. Have you ever wondered why your parents put cinnamon and cloves in Morbi and sorrel drinks? Why after making lime drink, they drop the rind into the drink? I bet you thought it was for flavoring. If you thought so, you're right, but only partially. Why do they add ginger or orange peel to laxatives? Why do we urinate a lot when it's cold or it's raining? Those are a lot of whys. Stay with me for the answers. That being said, cominciamo. Let's begin. Put on your thinking caps and follow me as I embark on another interesting common sense extravaganza with a dash of Oriental wisdom to help us to unearth the answers to the questions I asked before. Digestion takes place in a warm environment. The heat is essential for ripening and extracting the nutrients from the foods that we eat. Same thing happens in a landfill. The breakdown of organic matter results because of heat being generated due to the breaking down process of the organic matter. That's why it's normal to see fires breaking out in these conditions, because of the heat created. Different parts of machines create friction when they are operational. This friction creates heat. That's why there's always a cooling system. It's essential for the optimal efficiency of the machine. According to the tenets of traditional Chinese medicine, the primary organs of digestion are the stomach and spleen. Many schools of thought consider these two organs as the most important organs of the body after birth. And this makes a lot of sense when you wrap your head around it. Allow me to explain. After being born, food is the most important element for the body. Food is essential for any and every body function. No one can deny this. Now that I have your attention, continuiamo. Let's continue. The whole digestive system is considered to be under the control of the spleen, as I've said before. We can look at our body as a comprehensive, well-structured operational system. There are the circulatory system, the water system, and the digestive system, among the other systems operating in our bodies. We have the heart being the primary organ of circulation, the kidneys, the organ that deals mostly with water, and the spleen ruling digestion. Traditional Chinese medical thinking postulates that the spleen likes to be warm and dry. As such, a predominance of foods that are wet, cold, and damp can affect the spleen in a negative way. Not eating on time or substandard food also harms the spleen. This is akin to running your car with substandard or no fuel. Some examples of cold, damp foods are raw salads, cold drinks, oily foods, and a predominance of herbs with a cold energy, like lime juice, sorrel drinks, and laxatives. In line with this thinking, you will have noticed I always specify or note the energetic actions of the herbs whenever I discuss them. Reckless consumption of these types of foods, drinks, and actions makes the spleen deficient or cold or damp or all. As the spleen becomes cold, it wants to hibernate and it feels sleepy just as you and I would feel when we are cold. When the spleen gets cold and damp, it manifests symptoms of tiredness, digestive issues, sleepiness after meals because the spleen is compromised It gets tired from digesting your food, so you feel sleepy after digestion. Also, we may feel a sense of heaviness. As the primary organ of digestion, the spleen, in harmony with the kidneys, also moves water from the middle portion of the body. When the spleen becomes dysfunctional, its ability to remove the water from our abdominal cavity is impaired, resulting in enlarged abdomen, clearing of the throat, loose stools. The stools now become mixed with water, diarrhea, flatulence, edema that starts from the abdomen, just to name a few symptoms. These are the principles that guide Chinese traditional medicine. That's why they hardly ever drink cold drinks, eat salads, and are more inclined to drink hot tea. Question: how many pot-bellied Chinese do you see? Like the Chinese, these principles had once guided the ancients of our society. That's why they insisted that we start our day with something warm. Why they stopped us from eating cucumbers and chows at night. This is why every house had orange peel hung from the rafter or somewhere in the kitchen. Citrus peel warms and strengthens the spleen. The ancients knew it was very good. The cinnamon and cloves in Morbi and sorrel drinks were not merely for flavoring, but also to change the energy from cold to neutral or warm, so as to not injure the spleen and to aid digestion. Cinnamon and cloves are hot. That was also the reason for the rind of the lime in the lime drink, and ginger was added to laxative. By now, I'm sure you're beginning to see there's a science behind traditional Chinese herbal medicine. It's not a vai process of randomly and thoughtlessly drinking herbs without reason. For example, watermelon is good. It's rich in minerals and vitamins. But many of you can attest to getting diarrhea and indigestion from eating watermelon, especially at night. That's because of its cold effect on the spleen. The same is true for milk. It's damp, and if there's dampness in the spleen, milk causes diarrhea. That's all for now. I've come to the end of another interesting discussion. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Ci vediamo pronto. Ciao, ciao. Just a quick note. Do you see why using ripening agents of fruit or waxing them is not in your best interest? It interferes with the digestive flora and harms digestion and injures the spleen.